I've got more than one.
Let's have
My first question is, do they train police officers to accurately identify pot by smell?
Yes.
They do.
They burn it for them.
Oh.
State and federal both, yeah.
State, okay. So the common MO for a police officer when they stop, especially young kids, but I can speak from experience, it doesn't end when you're a teenager or 20 or 30 or 40 years old, is they come up and they say, I smell pot in your car. Do you have any pot? Well, you don't want to lie to a police officer. So they say, if you say nothing, you're okay at that point in time. But especially with the young kids, they say, let me search your car or I'm going to get a warrant. And when you're talking about 16, 17, 18, 20-year-old kids, they say, it'll go easier on you if you let us search it so that we don't have to go get the warrant. And when you have somebody that's 16 years old carrying an eighth of pot, and they say, okay, they find it, or they, actually what they do is they turn it over because they're so, give it to us or we're going to get a warrant. Is there a defense for intimidation to a search? And I can tell you what they do if you say no, because it happened to me. They said, turn around, put your hands behind your back, we're going to search your car subsequent to arrest. And they found nothing. And then they let me go.
The short answer is yes. And if your consent is coerced, and that'd be the argument the defense attorney would make, the prosecutor would make it, of course, he'd say no, it's fine. It's a coerced consent. And I've argued it plenty of times. It's best if the cop has a video or a tape, and you can see exactly what is said and how it's said and how it's framed. There are lots of problems with doing that. If you say, we're going to get a warrant. Well, not necessarily. And the person thinks, the kid thinks, or the adult thinks, well, you know, it's a foregone conclusion and I need to make it easy on myself. And so they consent. That, I think there's a good grounds. Your question is there a defense to that? It's not, yeah. I mean, in a short answer, it's called the consent is not valid. It was coerced because it was gained through misinformation. The misinformation is, we're going to get a warrant. Not necessarily. We're going to apply for a warrant. That doesn't mean you're going to get one. And so it's coerced consent. Simple as that. That'd be my argument. And I think a good judge would grant that motion.
Okay, and so a quick follow-up to that. When you're out in the middle of Nevada, I know we've got beds, and a lot of the states are similar. You're out in the middle of Nevada, or Idaho, or Utah, or even Montana, but those other three states are where it happens more often, where you fit the description of somebody that might have pot or drugs or something. You're driving a big car, you got long hair, okay, you got dirty keys in the trunk, which you don't. And they say, we want to search your car. What are the opportunities that they may, in fact, on a word of mouth, be able to convince a judge at 2 o'clock in the morning, 100 miles from the closest judgeship, that they need a warrant out there to look for suspicious characters that might be carrying pot? I mean, where do your odds fall on saying no?
I don't understand the question.
Well, say they stop me out by Jordan.
Okay.
Said, we want to search your car.
Yeah.
I say no. They say we're going to get a warrant.
We're going to apply for a warrant.
No, they say we're going to get a warrant. That day, I have never, and I've heard it a dozen times, I've never heard say we're going to apply. It's always we're going to get.
And you say go ahead and get it, right?
Yeah, you say go ahead and get it.
And what are the question? What are the odds that the judge is going to grant it?
Right.
Well, you know what? That's not the real. The question is, okay, let's say you got a judge that grants it, and then they search it. The question is, was there probable cause to get a warrant? Not is there a judge out there that will sign it? I hope that no judge would sign that application. They got to put an application together with probable cause to believe there's contraband in the car. If they got nothing, I hope the judge isn't going to sign it. Let's say there is a judge. The question is, can you get it suppressed? And the answer is, if they got nothing in the application to support a warrant, just, we stopped this guy, and he looked kind of shady. And we didn't really buy it, and we thought, you look a little nervous. That's not enough. And so a judge might sign off. The question is, will you get a suppress? And the short answer is probably, if that's all they got.
Well, they're never going to leave just that much on an application. They're going to say, I smelled it.
Okay.
Whether it's green or whether it's smoke, they're going to say, I smelled it.
And, yeah.
And, you know, I'm going to take a shot at those questions too, partly because I had a student write a paper for me, and this is going to be sort of my pitch for involved citizenry. I had a student write a paper for me last semester where she argued a very simple proposition that, similar to Miranda, when police ask for consent to search, there should be a requirement that the person being asked be told that they have a right not to consent. That would be an easy change in the law to make. It's not the state of the law now. The state of the law now is that there's no requirement that you be told that you have a right not to consent. I think that might go a long way for the 16, 17, 18-year-olds, and that's a change that could happen legislatively. So one of the things I want to do when I came down here today is make a pitch for voting, because you know what? This is all government choices. We're all the government. If you're not voting, you're not part of the government, and it doesn't do much good to sit in this room and complain, because government really can change stuff. Now, in terms of how's that actually going to work, I mean, in the state of the law now, what are your rights? I don't know what to tell you about 16, 17, 18-year-olds, other than to pound into their heads. They have a right to say no. If you're out by Jordan, what are the chances that they're not going to get to a judge? I think they're pretty good, that they're not going to get to a judge. The judge is a long way away. It's the middle of the night. They better have something pretty good if they're going to wake him up. But the problem you're going to have is, what they can say is, well, we're going to hold your car until we can get a warrant. And, you know, that may be 4 or 5 or 10 hours. So you are free to sit here by the side of the road in Jordan or head into downtown Jordan, even though it's 10 miles away, and we'll let you walk, while we go look for a warrant for your car. And I don't know if there's anything you can do about that.